Hello, hello. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Maybe if you can put something in the chat, that would be great, so I know everything is working okay. I'm in a different space and I've had a few technology things going on, so I think I've got everything working properly. So hopefully everyone can hear me okay. All right. We will get underway. I guess before we do that, a little bit of an introduction to what we're going to do in our practices. I suppose many of you have a little bit, you've maybe read the little description of what we're going to do, but some of you might just be joining this session in a more impromptu way, in which case maybe you don't. So, as you probably know, we've just entered the year of the wood snake, Chinese New Year. So we're going to have a session specifically focused on the wood element and the snake as an animal and practices relating to that. There'll be quite a bit of similarity between this session and one that we did just for New Year on, beginning of January, the more international New Year date, where we focused on wood and water. Within Chinese practices, Qigong practices, there is different symbolism used, and sometimes we focus directly on the element itself and its qualities, and other times there are, animals. Animals are used a lot in different Qigong practices, and those animals have all of their own characteristics, which often also have quite a close connection to different elements. And so the snake has quite a strong connection to the water element, certainly in the practices that we do for the snake in Long White Cloud Qigong. It also applies to some other elements as well, but there's a really strong water quality there. So we're going to focus on the wood as an element and the snake as an animal and its qualities, which is naturally going to bring through a lot of water. And also generally on new beginnings. So the start of our session, we're going to do some practices from a sequence known as waking the Qi, for waking up and activating our energy right through our whole body. We're not going to do the whole sequence though. We're just going to do the first part of that, which particularly focuses a lot on our kidneys and on our spine and on the energy flow through those. Now, the kidneys, the spine, those relate very strongly to both, again, the water element and the snake, and new beginnings. The water element being the most yin of the elements, it's the one that then feeds into and supports all of the other elements as we go through. So we're going to do all of this session from a standing position today, and we might as well get into it now. Again, I hope that everyone can hear me okay. I'm going to need to adjust this camera angle. Let's see, I think that's probably going to be pretty good. Maybe down just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Give you enough room that you can see my feet if you need to for any of the practices, and also see my hands and everything like that. So given that we're starting standing, we will start with some simple warm-ups to begin with. We'll just do some simple joint rotations to get our body moving and get us aware of our body to begin with. So you can put your hands together, and we'll start by just rotating our wrists, and we'll go the other way as well. Gently getting our wrists moving, and we'll move out to our elbows, making some circles, rotations at our elbows, and we'll go back the other way as well. From there we'll come to one shoulder, so putting your hand on one side of your waist, and then opening up big circle up and back, opening up through your shoulder. And as you open up through your shoulder, you'll notice it starts to open up through your back, down to your waist as well. And we'll change directions, going the other way. And coming across to the other arm, other shoulder, big circles, opening up through the shoulder, starting to open up through the back, opening up down to our waist. And then going the other way. Bring your hands onto your waist. We'll now circle at our hips, gently starting to open up our hips. And going back the other way as well. Let me just check, I want to just make sure. Yep, pretty sure my audio is all working. Then bringing your feet together, putting your hands on your knees, and we'll rotate at our knees. And then back the other way. Stepping your feet back to shoulder apart, shifting your weight across to one leg. We'll rotate one ankle. And back the other way. We'll shift across to the other side and rotate that ankle. And back the other way. Coming back to the center. With our necks now, we'll tilt our head forwards and back and forwards and back and forwards and back. Then turning your head, looking to one side and to the other, and turn, and turn, and turn, and turn. Coming back to the center. If you have any issues with your neck, you might continue to tilt your head forwards and backwards and turn side to side. If you're comfortable with your neck, you can try doing some full rotations. We'll change, going the other way. Bring your head back up to the center, releasing your hands and twisting side to side, nice and loose. Loosening your spine, loosening your whole body. And coming back to the center, Feet shoulder apart, sinking down, nice and relaxed into your posture, shoulders open, neck long. And we'll take a few moments to just relax, clear our mind, relax our body, and bring our awareness, bring our attention to the present moment and into our body, into our energy. So bring your awareness into every part of your body if you can. So see if you can be aware of your feet, your toes, your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, your thighs, your pelvis, your abdomen, your chest, your back, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck, your head. See if you can be aware of your whole body. And then also be aware of your breath. Feel the way your breath moves through your body. As you inhale, feel the way your whole body gently stretches, opens, expands, rises. As you exhale, feel the way your whole body relaxes back inwards and sinks. So steady, relaxed breaths, feeling the expansion and contraction, the rise and fall of your whole body. And as you allow your whole body to move with the breath, naturally this allows your energy to start to flow more freely as well. So you might start to notice that too. From here we're going to start into that waking the chi practice. It begins very simply. We take a deep breath in and then we breathe out, slowly folding forwards, bending down just as low as is comfortable for us. And then breathe in, slowly coming back up. Breathe out, again folding forwards, coming down as low as is comfortable for us. And breathe in, slowly coming back up. Breathe out, so as we come forwards, bending at our waist, at our hips, we open the muscles of our back. And then as we breathe out, coming up, we feel the muscles of our back engage, pulling us back upright. Breathe out. So with this alternating opening, breathe in and then re-engaging, activating the muscles. We start to get the energy flowing, particularly through our lower back. Breathe out, coming forwards, bringing energy to the lower back, the area around our kidneys. Breathe in, coming up. We'll do this movement just one more time. Breathe out, coming forwards, and in, coming up. From here we'll breathe in as we open our arms to the sides. Breathe out, press the hands outwards, turning our hands up. We'll breathe in as we raise our hands up, heels of the hands touching above our head. Breathe out, opening the arms down to shoulder height. So we breathe in, raise up. Breathe out, opening down. Breathe in, raise up. Breathe out, opening down. Breathe in as we do this, we stretch and open through the mid-back. And again, as we breathe out, lowering the arms, we re-engage those muscles. So we breathe in, we feel a gentle stretching up through the spine. And then breathe out, feel all the muscles active around the spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And out. We'll do this movement one more time. Breathe in and out, leaving our arms at shoulder height. And turn to one side, looking to your middle finger and then beyond. And then turn to the other side, looking at your middle finger and then beyond. And turn and turn. And as we do this movement, turning to each side, we're gently loosening, opening the muscles of the neck and upper back, getting some energy flow moving through those. We're also gently exercising the muscles of our eyes, relating to the wood element. Bring your head back to the center. We'll now lower our hands. And we're going to move our hands behind our back. We're going to make some loose fists as we do this. And we're going to knock up and down either side of the spine. So coming up and down and up and down, using the vibration from this knocking to stimulate deep into the body. In particular, stimulating all those nerves coming out from the spine, feeding that water energy out into all the rest of the tissues of our body. From here, we'll open our arms wide, coming up to our head, and again we're going to knock forwards and backwards over our head, bringing that vibration, bringing that energy all the way up our spine to our head to take care of our brain. If it's not comfortable for you to knock using loose fists, you can use your fingertips instead. If you prefer that, you can use either one. Then we'll open our hands wide, coming down back to our lower back. This time we're going to rub. We're going to use the backs of our hands. We'll breathe in, backs of the hands up. Breathe out, palms of the hands down. So we breathe in, backs of the hands up. Breathe out, palms down. Rubbing up and down either side of the lower back. This time bringing more blood flow into all of these tissues around the back, warming the tissues here in the lower back. And then opening your hands wide, coming up to your head, the base of the skull and the neck, squeezing the muscles on either side of the neck, squeezing and releasing, massaging the muscles at the base of the skull. This is an important area where sometimes the energy has a tendency to get blocked up between our body and our head. We build tension in our neck, so we want to release this tension so the energy can flow freely between our body and our head. And then from here, we'll rub up over our head, over our face. And again, if rubbing with your whole palm isn't comfortable for you, maybe with your hair or something like that, you can use your fingertips to come over the skull onto the face and then back again. And again, we're using this rubbing to bring the blood circulation more strongly into all these tissues of the scalp, of the ears, all the little muscles of our face and our jaw. Bringing the blood and with it the energy flow all the way up into our head, into our face. We'll do this one more time. And then we'll open our hands wide, coming down to our lower back one last time. This time just placing your hands into the lower back. And breathe. With your hands resting on your lower back, you can feel the expansion and contraction of your lower back. With the breath, feel the way this gently squeezes and activates the kidneys And maybe you can also feel the energy from your hands flowing in to support your kidneys, which then supports the flow of energy through your spine, which then supports all the energy through all the rest of your body. That water energy flowing out to support all the activity of all the organs. And from there we'll open our hands wide. This time as we come up to our head, not touching the surface of your body, just keeping your hands above the surface of your body, and we'll bring our hands forwards and back, just using the energy that naturally radiates from the palms of our hands, and letting that penetrate through all the tissues of our head, through the skin, through the muscles, through the bones, all the way into our brain, letting that energy penetrate in and nurture, take care of our brain. We'll do this one more time, bringing the hands forwards and then back. Then open your hands wide, this time bringing them in front of your body, both palms facing up. I'll just put my glasses back on there. And you might feel that after all that, well, opening up the spine with movement and then the massaging using your hands, that you have a nice healthy flow of energy up and down your spine, hopefully, and also a nice healthy flow of energy to your hands. Bringing our hands down here into this space in front of our abdomen naturally then starts to bring that energy into our center. We're going to turn that energy over and get it rolling, getting it flowing more actively. So we'll turn the top hand down. So now possibly you may feel energy between your hands. If you don't, that's fine. You can still just follow along with the movements. It will still activate the energy. And from here we'll turn the hands and turn and turn and turn. And as you turn the energy between your hands, it naturally turns the energy in the center of your body as well. Getting it turning over, getting it moving, starting to make it more active, ready to move from the center and move outwards through all the rest of your body, out into your life. We're going to continue with this similar process of getting this energy more active inside, getting it ready to extend outwards. And what we're going to do, if we want to do this gently, we're simply going to step our feet together and we're going to wrap our arms, crossing them in front of our body. And then we're going to rock forwards and back. And we feel the pressure moving inside our body. It's quite subtle, but we can feel that pressure moving and pushing against the edges of our body. So we have that internal energy becoming more active and wanting to start to push outwards. Essentially, we're now moving into our focus on the wood element. We're becoming like a seed. We're focusing on that energy inside, wanting to sprout and come outwards. If you want to make this movement a little bit stronger, well, quite a lot stronger actually, you can squat down and wrap your arms around your knees. And then from here, again, we rock forwards and backwards. And you can come onto the balls of your feet and then back onto your heels, onto the balls of your feet and back onto your heels. And as you do this, again, maybe you can feel that pressure inside the body pushing against the surface of your body, wanting to come outwards. Also, you'll note each time as you rock forwards and backwards, there's this impulse in the body to rise up, bringing out the rising energy of the wood element. So when we're ready for that, when we're ready for our seed to germinate, ready for it to sprout, we bring the backs of our hands together, we breathe in, turn the hands over, palms facing, breathe out, rising up and opening to the sides. If you want to do this gently, you can just stay standing. So So you breathe in, turn the hands over, breathe out, rise up, opening outwards. If you want to do it more strongly, you squat down, breathe in, turn the hands over, breathe out, forming the shoot, rising upwards. Breathe in. Think of all the vitality of a young shoot emerging from a seed. So gentle, so soft, so delicate, but with so much power within it, as it creates a new living organism that can grow and become healthy and strong. Breathe in, breathe out. We'll do one more of these. Breathe in and out, and open your hands wide. This time we're going to keep our arms open wide as we let our wood element mature into a healthy tree. So our arms are like branches, our palms facing upwards, the soft side of our arms facing upwards, connecting to the energy of the sun or the energy of heaven above us. Our feet connected to the earth, rooting into the earth. Now, if you want to, you can keep your feet just like this. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can cross one foot in front of the other and put the ball of the foot on the ground. If you want to make it even more challenging, you can bring that foot above your knee and open your hip. And we're going to stand like this. I'm actually going to put my foot back on the ground, and we're going to sway. Sway to one side and to the other. Swaying gently like a tree, swaying in the breeze. So as we let our wood element energy mature, become stronger with that strong, upright, rising energy, we want to make sure it stays supple, healthy and green. We don't want our wood element energy to become stiff and brittle where it can break easily. We want it to be pliable and flexible. And so in this movement, as we sway side to side, we keep that flexibility through our body. You might feel the gentle stretching opening of the tissues in the sides of your body down where the gallbladder meridian runs, which relates to the wood element. So we've got this upright, rising energy, but it's still flexible, able to move freely in the breeze. We'll bring our hands back together. And we will repeat with our legs crossed the other way if you've been crossing your legs. Again, if you want to make it more challenging, by all means, bring your knee above your foot. Otherwise, you can keep it on the ground, or you can just keep them both together side by side. We'll rise up. Open your hands wide. And then we sway gently, side to side. Feeling the rising wood energy, feeling the connection of your feet down into the earth, the connection of your hands connecting to the energy descending from above, and then that wood energy in between. Flexible, adaptable. Wood energy gives us drive, motivation to get things done, to create a vision, to make decisions, and then pursue that. But we need that flexibility within it, or it can just cause us problems. So we want to have healthy, flexible wood energy. Bringing your hands back together, lowering them back down in front of your chest, stepping your feet back, shoulders apart. From here we're going to move into some snake practices, and we're going to tie this in with our wood, with our tree a little bit later on. For now, we're simply going to lace our fingers together, extend them up, lengthening our whole body, and then twisting to one side, and then to the other. So with this lengthening, twisting, we're lengthening out our body like a snake, and starting to get that mobility through our bodies like snakes. So we're going to be able to move nice and fluid and freely like a snake. From here, coming back to face the front, we're going to do some snake rolls. If you want to do these gently to begin with, you can just lower your hands and just stay standing as you open your hands forwards and up and back down again. Now as we do this, even just using primarily our arms, it starts to create a rolling pressure that moves through our body, and particularly through our shoulders and through our spine, starting to get the energy moving more freely. If we want to do this more strongly, we can engage more of our body. And so as we come down, we bring our whole body down and forwards, and then arms come up, body comes up. And lowering down, we start to get a rolling motion right through our whole body, and particularly through our spine. Starting to get more free movement through our spine. So we're going to be able to move like a snake. And of course, this activates, gets our water energy flowing more freely by getting our spine moving more freely. We'll change directions again. If you want to do it gently to begin with, you can just stay standing as you bring the arms forwards, and then palms come up, and again, even with this relatively gentle movement, we start to get some rolling motion in our spine. We can make it stronger using our whole body coming forwards, and then up and forwards and up and forwards and up. So next we're going to bring this motion to the side. So we can do it gently to begin with. Again, primarily using the arms, we make a big circle to one side, starting to get some lateral sideways movement into the spine. And we'll make a circle to the other side. Now again, you can continue to do it this way if that feels good to you, or if you want to make it stronger, you can use the whole body. So the whole body extends out to the side, around and up, and then to the other side, out, around and up, really starting to open up the sides of the body, the sides of the spine, even opening a little through the sides of the hips, and up. We'll do this once more in each direction. So going to one side, and then to the other side. Coming back to the center, bringing your palms together, again bringing them down in front of your chest. Now I'm going to step a little bit to the side. I'm in a relatively small space. I'm going to need it for this next movement. So the next movement we're going to do, it's a classic snake Qigong movement, and it mimics a snake coming down out of a tree. So it's called snake creeps down. And so we've just brought our energy nice and upright, like with our wood element practices, bringing that energy of a tree. Now we're going to descend down low. The water element descends down low. So we're going to start by sinking both of our legs. We then turn one hand down in the direction we want to move towards. As we continue to sink, we extend that foot out to the side. We extend out. We turn the hips. Other hand comes over. We extend with both hands. Then the other hand comes down low, along the ground and out. We come over. So this first hand, it's like the snake coming down out of the tree and then sliding along the ground. The other hand then joins and reconnects. It's the tail of the snake. We turn, go the other way. The snake comes down out of the tree, slides along the ground. So it gets a sequential movement going through our body. So our whole body can move like a wave. So the hand, the arm, the shoulder, the torso, the hips, the legs, all in order. And it starts to particularly
we maybe mainly feel it as like a big stretch or a challenge right now. But by opening up the body in this way, in this sequential way, we're going to feel a lot more fluidity and the energy moving through our body like a wave when we do other movements. So again, coming down low, head of the snake, body of the snake, tail end of the snake, coming through. We'll do it once more to each side. Last one. Coming down along the ground and together. From here, we'll do this next movement gently to begin with. We can bring our feet a little closer. Our arms are going to be close to each other. They stay connected. As we turn to one side and twist and look behind, the arms stay connected, sliding in contact with each other. Turn to the other side, twist, come back to the center, turn and twist. As we do this twisting, we're getting a gentle activation right up through all the joints of our body, from our ankles, through our knees, through our hips, particularly up through our spine, and squeezing around our lower back, around our kidneys, maybe you can feel that, and then all the way up to our shoulders, out through our arms. If you want to make this particular movement stronger, you can go right from where we were when we finished. Snake creeps down with our legs wide, and we can twist to one side and to the other, getting that stronger twisting, stretching, activation of all the tissues through the body, stimulating those qualities of the water element and our ability to twist and turn and move in a fluid way, and particularly activating the tissues around our joints and our kidneys and our lower back. Coming back to the center, facing the front, keeping our arms linked, one next to the other, one arm forwards, and we're simply going to sway. And as we sway, again, feeling like this hand is the head of the snake, and we feel that sway naturally move all the way through our whole body. With all the movements we've done, copying the movements of the snake, we start to take on some of those qualities, and we feel a coiling, connected sense of movement through our whole body, all the way from our legs, up through our waist, our spine, out to our shoulder. That snake energy moving through us, that water energy being activated. We'll change, other hand becomes the head. Again, we sway. And we feel that fluidity, that coiling through our whole body. Lowering your hands. We'll take a few moments to just stand. Be aware of your energy. Aware of your breath as well. And see if you notice any differences in your body and your energy from the start of the session, where we also stood and just spent some time being aware of our body and our energy. Maybe you have a sense of some things having been stretched and opened. Maybe you have a sense of the energy flowing through more freely from all that stretching and opening of the body. You might feel some warmth, some tingles, some other subtle sensations flowing, moving around within your body. And you might find within your body, within your energy, a little bit of that snake quality, that ability to flow, to sway, to coil easily. You might also feel some senses of the wood element, that uprightness, that rising energy, in the way this is balanced by the sinking, descending, flowing energy of the snake. We'll take all that energy that we've stimulated with our practice and we're going to integrate it into the primary flows of our energy system. So we'll breathe in, raising our arms up to the sides. This brings energy up our spine. Breathe out, lowering the hands in front of the body, circulating the energy down the front of the body. Breathe in, so we're bringing the energy up through the governing vessel, the governing meridian. Breathe out, descending the energy through the conception or central vessel or meridian. Breathe in, harmonizing yin and yang, and integrating the energy from our practice into our system. Breathe in, coming up, and breathe out, coming down. Breathe in. This will be our last one. And breathe out. Bring your hands onto your center. We're going to do some self-massage as well. Make sure our energy's well distributed. We'll massage in circles on the lower back, above those kidneys again. And then from here we're going to pat down the back, down the outside of our legs, up the inside of our legs, front of our body, out the inside of one arm, up the back of the arm, out the other arm, up the back of the arm, over our face, over our head, over our neck, and down the back of the body, up the inside of the legs, the front of the body, out each arm. We'll go around the whole body once more, down the back, down the legs, up the inside of the legs, front of the body, out the inside of one arm, up the back of the arm, inside of the other arm, up the back of the arm, over our face, over our head, over our neck, down to the waist. And then bring your hands back on your lower abdomen, so below your belly button in the front of your body. And again, we'll take a few moments to just stand, to be aware of our body, our breath, our energy, and just let our energy settle and let any extra energy that you've activated within your practice today gather together into your lower dantian in the center of your body, underneath this area which our hands are resting on, where we can store any extra energy so that we can use it later on if we need it. Okay, thank you everyone. We will finish the practice portion of our session now. If you have any questions or comments that you would like to make, by all means you are welcome to. So yeah, let's see, you can put those in the chat, and yeah, I'll just give people a few moments if there's any comments or questions you would like to make. I'm just looking through the previous ones, lots of people introducing themselves from all over the world, saying Happy New Year. We've got, let's see, we have people said they're from Bristol, Windsor, Beaconsfield in the UK, Reykjavik. So not everyone's saying where they're from. Tasmania, Ireland. Oh, there we go. Come to the bottom of those comments. All right, so we'll just wait another moment or two in case anyone has any comments or questions before we wrap things up for today. So Dominic saying thank you, that was a lovely start of the new year. Other people saying thank you. Fiona from Switzerland, that was one that wasn't mentioned before. Tracy from Dorset. Give people another minute or so in case there's any questions, and we'll wrap things up.
Oh, so Jay Arnefield says, thank you. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about the courses that I run? Yeah, so lots of different courses. The main ones, we have some quite short courses for people who might be interested, in just starting with Qigong. So we have an Introduction to Qigong Theory and Practice course, which is a completely free course that you can find on the Long White Cloud Qigong website. We also have the Complete Natural Breath course, which is another free course. It gives you some foundations of working with your breath. Those are a great place to get started if you want to check those out. We also have some other short courses. We've got one for the wrists and hands. We've got one for your immune system. But then we run some really quite substantial courses that go deep into a wide range of different Qigong practices and help you to, well, they give you everything you need to really understand those practices. And a lot of people do them just for their own understanding and practice. But also we teach to a level where if you want to teach those practices, it's also an instructor certification program. So one of those is called the Small Universe. And oh, look at that, a thumbs up. It's called the Small Universe program. And in that one, we do practices for each of the main energy systems in the body. And the Waking the Chi that we did part of at the start of the session actually comes from that program, along with a bunch of other practices. We have another one called the Inner Fire Qigong program, and that one, it focuses on more dynamic practices. And so the snake practices we did in the session actually come from there. And then another one called Elemental Alchemy, where we focus on the fundamental states of our energy. That includes Wuji, Taiji, and Wuxing, the 5 elements. And so the wood practices we did in this session actually come from there. So yeah, a few different things you can explore if you're interested. Let's see what other questions there were. Oh, from Malta, Scotland. Oh, Martina saying looking forward to the training in February. Yeah, out of interest, if you are interested in those courses, we do have the Elemental Alchemy one starting in the middle of February. So if you want to, maybe if you're interested in doing that one, you probably want to get onto that pretty quickly. You can find information on the website as well. Oh, so Kelton is asking, some other teachers tap from outside of the arms rather than the inside. Does this make a difference? That's an interesting question. So the reason why I specifically go in this direction on the soft surface of the arm and on, back in on the hard surface of the arm is to avoid any potential for disrupting the flow of the organ meridians, which have a very specific direction of flow. Now, there's not too much risk of doing that. So it's not like, unless you're working in a very focused way, it's not too likely. But sometimes people can do that inadvertently. There's more chance of doing that with stroking type movements where there's much more of a directional push to, each movement. When we're striking, it's more, it's like splashing. It's a more, the force goes out in all directions. So it's much less likely to disrupt that flow. But that's the reason why I tend to do that, just, extra safety so no one inadvertently disrupts some of their energy flow while they're doing a nice little cool down massage. So Xian says, anyone would think you're my teacher, as my class last night was pretty much an exact match of this practice. It made me smile all the way through. Yeah, great. Cool. Good example of some synchronicity and applying, bringing the practices together in different ways. Because as I mentioned, talking about the different courses, we do focus on different practices in the different courses and they all fit together really nicely. But once we have a good understanding of the practices, we can bring many different practices together as different ways of working with our energy. An analogy I often use for this is like cooking. To begin with, we might have set recipes that we follow with specific ingredients, and we might be quite careful not to deviate too much from the recipe. But once we understand all of the ingredients well in the process of cooking, we can start to take different ingredients from different places and combine them together in ways that also work really well. All right, do we have anything else here? So Maeve says, thank you for the reminder of the snake practices. And from Dublin, and a lot of other people just saying thank you. All right, it doesn't seem like there's too many other questions, so I think we'll wrap things up there now. Lovely to have you all join me in this practice. And yeah, we'll see. We're We don't have a regular schedule for these practices at the moment. We're just doing some from time to time, quite busy with some other things. The big thing, talking about courses, the big thing is I'm getting a Qigong healing course ready, and that's taking a lot of my time as well as other things. But at some point down the track, we'll probably look to do these more regularly. If you are interested to know when the next ones we do are, there's a page on the website that you can look at where we'll put anything there, or also a good idea to sign up to our email newsletter so you'll hear whenever the next ones are. Okay, thanks everyone. I look forward to having you join me again in the future.